here you are. It's almost April. We're on objective 130. There's only 150 objectives in the whole library, so we're working toward the end here. Now, yesterday we talked about parabolas. Remember, when we graph quadratic functions, they make the U shape, which is a parabola. On objective 130, we're going to talk about finding the vertex from the equation. And remember the parabolas, the vertex, if you have a regular parabola, the vertex is the little point down the bottom. Now, if you flip your parabola upside down, the vertex is up at the top. Do you remember how you get an upside down parabola?
Yeah. Your x squared is negative.
If your x squared piece is negative, you're going to open down like this, and your vertex will be the peak. Otherwise, it's a U shape, and your vertex is at the bottom. So on our first example, I want you to just graph it. Let's look at this and see if we can figure it out just by graphing it and looking where the vertex is. So grab your graphing calculator. Let's put in x squared plus 8x plus 6. And then let's just graph it and see. Now, one thing that you can do, it's right here, it's down here. You can, if you start moving your arrows, your little cursor will start moving. Just try to bring it down over here and let's see. So I'm going to go left, and I see my little cross, my little cursor, go way down here. Right there-ish. Now this is not exact because I just kind of cursored over, but it looks like it's like -4, -10, right? Yep. So -4, negative, that's where the vertex is. It's -4, -10. Is that an option?
C.
Yeah. Clearly. These other ones aren't even close. This would be right 4 down 10, not close. Left 8 up 6, definitely not up 6. And then right 8 up 6, not even close. So one way you can find the vertex is going to be to graph it. Look at it. Find it. Look at it. See where it's at. Of course, on the next example, you see how all those answers are nice integers? Look at the answer choices before you even work this. Look at these. All of them are what?
Fraction.
Fractions. So that could make it a little bit more difficult. So we're going to need another way. The other way, hey, I want to teach you something about the other way. The other way to find the vertex. So on example 2, the coordinates of the vertex are clearly not integers. However, what we're going to do is, you know the quadratic formula. You should know it really well. We're going to take a portion, sound like a word? We're going to take a portion of the quadratic formula, and we're going to use it to find the vertex. Now the portion I'm talking about, not portion, the portion I'm talking about is everything except for the discriminant. And what's the discriminant?
The bottom. No, wait.
The discriminant is the
B squared minus 4AC.
b squared minus 4ac. So we're going to take that out. Everything, the square root, the plus and minus, and I'm just going to say negative b over 2a. So negative b over 2a is what we use to find the x part of the vertex. So let's go ahead and look at this and just do negative b over 2a for this. Now negative b, since b is already -3, negative b is what? 3 over 2a, so it's 2 times 2. That is going to be the x-coordinate of the vertex, 3/4. So go ahead and write down that blank I got for you that the x part of the vertex is 3/4. How many answer choices do you have as x being 3/4?
2.
2. B and C. So what you do, once you got the x part of the vertex, to find the y part of the vertex, just take 3/4 and put it in to the problem where the x's are. So where the x's are, put in 3/4.
Okay, just got it.
Mind blown back there.
2 times 3/4 squared minus 3 times 3/4. There, give me a second to get that in there. And this is going to be -33 over 8, which is the y part of the vertex. And do you see that?
C.
See. Understand one thing. If you didn't see this, you might just need to convert it. You need to. You could have to convert it. It could have been this. It wasn't. It could have been. So it ends up being, here's your vertex. Just like that. Now, really quick, I want you to graph it. Grab your graphic calculator. Graph it, real quick. We're getting better and better and quicker at graphing. 2x squared minus 3x minus 3. Just kind of wanted to see it. Now, on this particular example, I didn't tell you this ahead of time because I wanted you to learn about the negative b over 2a trick. But I could have figured this out using just a little bit of logic. The vertex is right here, right? Now, to get there, wouldn't you have to go right and then down? To get here from the origin, you go right and down. So that means you'd have to go positive, then negative. How many answers do you have that show positive, negative? To the right and down. There's only one that shows you going right 3/4, down negative 33 over 8. So without actually knowing the actual answer, the only one that's right and down would have been the one that's positive and
Could
negative.
you go down and right?
No. When you're doing coordinates, XY coordinates, yeah, you could, I mean, with my finger, I could go down and right. But anytime you're talking about coordinates XY, you have to go right and then down. You have to go left to right first, and then you go up, down second. So it's right and down. So it's positive and negative. All right, let's go to the next example. This is the last example of a regular parabola, and then we're going to learn something called a sideways parabola, but save that thought. Find the vertex of this parabola. Don't use the graphing calculator, use negative b over 2a. And see what we get. Negative b over 2a.
Negative 1/4.
Negative 1/4. What is b?
B.
B is
1.
1. So I'm going to go negative 1 over 2a, which is 2 times
2.
2. And that's where you're getting your negative 1/4. How many answer choices do you have where the x coordinate's negative 1/4?
B and D.
B and D. All right, so if I have to determine between B and D, what am I going to do?
You're gonna put what you got for X in for all the X's.
I'm going to put what I got for X in for all the X's. Now, one way I might do that is I might just hit store right now. If you hit the store button, which is down here, hit the store button right there, and hit the X button, it says answer stores X, so it's stored. And then just put the right side in. 2x squared plus x plus 2. And 15/8 is the y. This one you actually did have to do the negative b over 2a because both of these answers on b and d, both of these answers are negative positive. This would mean go left and up. This would mean go left and up. So you would have to do that. Negative b over 2a. Now before we learn something different, before you learn about sideways parabolas, just recap what we talked about. All right, a parabola, a little U shape. The very bottom is called the vertex. How can I find the x coordinate of the vertex?
Go where it touches the X axis.
Now I want the vertex, the x coordinate of the vertex. What we're talking about today on today's notes.
Using negative b over 2a.
Yeah, if I want the x coordinate, do negative b over 2a. Now if you need to get the y coordinate, how do you do that?
2a over
You
negative.
Put
X where all the X's are in the.
put the number you get for x back into all the x's. So negative b over 2a will tell you the x part of the vertex. Now everything's getting ready to change though. This is a special case, sideways parabolas. If you ever see an equation that's written as x equals y squared or x equals negative y squared, what you have is a sideways parabola. Here's x equals y squared right here. It opens to the right. And then here's x equals negative y squared. It opens to the left. Now the vertex of these parabolas is still just kind of where it comes to a close right here, where it comes to a point. So if I need to find the vertex of these parabolas, I'm still going to use negative b over 2a. The problem is, negative b over 2a on a sideways parabola actually just tells you where the y coordinate is, so it's backwards. So let's still do negative b over 2a. Where's our problem? Here's our problem. Now it's a sideways parabola. How do I know that this is a sideways parabola?
Because it's X equals Y.
X equals y squared, and then all the other stuff. And if it's x equals y squared, you do have a problem where you can't graph this in your graphing calculator. I can only graph y equals x squared. I can't graph x equals y squared. So go negative b over 2a, but understand it's not going to tell you the x coordinate. It's going to tell you the y coordinate. What does it come out to? 1. Positive 2 over 2 times 1 comes out to 1. So the y coordinate is 1. Now we got to find the x coordinate. What do you think I'm going to do?
Plug it in.
Yeah.
Plug the 1 in for
Y's.
y's. Over here. Plug the 1 in for the y's. So you got 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 2. And the x coordinate is also 1. So you go 1 and 1. All right, so to wrap up this whole sideways parabola business, if you're working out one of these problems and they ask you to find the vertex, how do you know if you are looking at a sideways parabola?
It'll be x equals y instead of y.
X equals y squared. Now the difference between a regular parabola and the other parabola, sideways parabola, is that negative b over 2a on a sideways parabola tells you what?
Y.
The y instead of the x. So understand if you're looking at a sideways parabola, do negative b over 2a, but understand that's the y coordinate, not the x coordinate. And that's it for